The Digimon TCG, while beautiful in its simplicity, is not without its own moments of confusion, especially for newer players. This video will be an attempt at a catch-all regarding special Digivolutions / play requirements, keyword effects, timings, and anything else I can think of. While this video is not going to address absolutely everything, it should be able to resolve most issues that you might come across. I'll also link relevant rulebooks in the description if you want to read anything on your own. I'm going to break everything down section by section, so if there's a certain part you're looking for, timestamps will be in the description. Before we get things started, be sure to leave a like if at any point you enjoy the video or find a section helpful, and consider subscribing so you can stay notified of future uploads while also helping to support the channel. Let's start with special kinds of play, DNA Digivolution and DigiXros. DNA Digivolution is a unique type of Digivolution only applicable to a few cards, noted by the DNA Digivolution requirement on them. To perform a DNA Digivolution, take the two appropriate Digimon on the field, including any of their Digivolution cards, and stack them on top of each other, with the first listed color being on top. Cards like Chimeramon, which don't have a specific color requirement, can be in any order, just don't rearrange their Digivolution cards. Draw your card for Digivolving like normal. A Digimon that underwent DNA Digivolution will always hit the field unsuspended, even if one or both of its requirements were suspended. Any effects that were on specifically the materials, such as DP reduction or having a negative security attack, do not transfer over to the new Digimon, although effects that are being applied to all Digimon will take effect again. Even if both materials had come into play that turn and could not attack, the DNA Digivolve Digimon can attack. If any of the Digivolution cards had a once per turn effect and had already been used that turn, it can be used again for the DNA Digivolved Digimon. If a DNA Digimon would be De-Digivolved, just trash the cards on top like normal. It will not split back into two Digimon. DigiXros is an action that occurs while playing the appropriate Digimon directly from your hand, not for a Digivolution. When performing a DigiXros, you can use up to one of each of the materials listed on the card from either your hand or your battle area, putting them under the DigiXros card as material, and in the order specified from top to bottom. You don't have to use all of the listed materials. The play cost is reduced by the specified amount for each material used. If you use a Digimon from the battle area as material, any Digivolution cards it has are trashed. If an effect would be used to play the DigiXros Digimon, you may perform a DigiXros at that time. If an effect states that players can't reduce play costs, you can still perform a DigiXros by putting the materials underneath it, you just won't reduce the cost for the play. Let's move on to the big one, effect timings. All effects on all cards should state when they occur. Main phase, when something digivolves or attacks, when something is deleted, at the start of your main phase, etc. It's all listed on the card. If multiple effects happen simultaneously, such as your Digimon having a when attacking effect, and your opponent having a when your opponent's Digimon attacks effect, the turn player has priority, meaning their effects naturally resolve first. However, they can choose the order in which the effects resolve if they so wish. If a player would have several effects that could activate, that player can choose how many of them and in which order. For example, let's say I attack with Sakuyamon with the following Digivolution cards. My Rika Tamer has an effect that can activate when I attack with Sakuyamon, so I choose to activate that, which allows me to play an option with plugin in its name for free. After my plugin resolves, all of my Digivolution cards now want to activate since I played an option with a cost of 2 or more. I can activate any of those effects if I want, and in whatever order I want. Additionally, when a player plays a card and causes the memory to move over to the opponent's side, their turn ends after any effects finish resolving. If, at the end of those effects, the memory sits at 0 or is still positive for the turn player, then their turn does not end even if the memory was previously in favor of the opponent. A good example is Metal Garurumon Ace, which has a Digivolution cost of 3. If I'm at 1 memory, and I Digivolve into it, I leave my opponent with 2 memory. However, my turn is not over since I choose to resolve its when Digivolving effect, which allows me to trash up to 3 cards from my hand and gain 1 memory for each. So if I trash 2 or 3 cards, I gain 2 or 3 memory, leaving me with either 0 or 1 memory, which means at the point the effect finishes resolving, it is still my turn. Many effects specify this Digimon, or target Digimon. Those effects continue even if that Digimon were to Digivolve or De-Digivolve. Some effects say all of your or all of your opponent's Digimon. Those effects even apply to Digimon that are played after that effect begins. An example being Ice Wall, which makes it so that until the end of your opponent's turn, all of their Digimon gain the effect when this card attacks, lose 2 memory. This even applies to any Digimon they play during their turn, but before their turn ends. Let's look at suspending and unsuspending. Suspended Digimon can't attack. However, they can activate effects if they haven't already done so. If an effect requires you to suspend a Digimon, you can't choose a Digimon that is already suspended. Unsuspending a Digimon allows that Digimon to attack again, so if you have multiple effects that unsuspend a Digimon, that Digimon can attack each time it is unsuspended, provided it is still your turn. Now let's start looking at keywords. Let's start with Blocker. Blocker is what allows a Digimon to take an attack instead of your security, or for another Digimon. Blocker has its own timing. First, there's the attack declaration. Second are any effects that occur on attack declaration. After the attacking player has resolved those effects, we enter counter timing, where exactly one counter effect may happen. After that is blocker timing, when we can declare a blocker. To use blocker, suspend the blocking Digimon, and now the attack is shifted to the blocker. You cannot use blocker if the Digimon is already suspended. Sometimes your opponent has an effect that says, if this attacks an opponent's Digimon. If you use blocker to switch the target from a security attack, that effect will not activate since the attack target was not originally a Digimon. Next is security attack. Security attack can be either a positive or negative number. The default state for all Digimon is security attack equals 1, so they naturally check one security card when attacking security. If a Digimon has security attack plus 1, they check one additional card for a total of 2 checks. If they have security plus 2, it's a total of 3, and so on. When performing multiple security checks, reveal the cards one at a time and treat each check individually. For example, if my Digimon has security attack plus 1, and the first check is against a Digimon, and my Digimon would be deleted as a result, the second check does not occur. The same goes for if my Digimon would be deleted by a security effect. If it isn't on the field to perform the additional checks, then those checks do not occur. If a Digimon would have more security checks than there are cards in the security, such as security plus 2 and there's only one card in the security stack, that player does not win the game, since an attack must be made while there are no cards in security and that Digimon's attack is already in progress. Some effects can lower the security attack on a Digimon, going to 0 or even in the negatives. Security effects stack, so if I went down to -3, I would need security attack plus 4 to make it back to my default state of 1. If a security attack modifier is set to 0 or negative, then attacking security will not perform any security checks, and as such, attacking an opponent with no security cards with such a Digimon will not win you the game. Recovery is our next effect, which puts the top card of your deck face down on top of your security stack. Neither player gets to see the card that is added. While you start with 5 cards in your security stack, you actually have no limit to the amount of cards that can exist in your security stack, although a number of effects will specify that it won't recover if you already have 5 or more cards in your security, for instance. If you have no cards in your deck, then you can't perform a recovery effect. Digi-Eggs cannot be placed in security. If your opponent has a Digimon with, say, security plus 1, and their first attack drops you to 0 security, normally their attack would end without performing the second check. However, if you recover plus 1 during or because of that check, then their second check now occurs. Piercing lets your Digimon perform a security check after surviving a battle with an opponent's Digimon. After the battle, if your Digimon would still be on the field, perform any security checks like normal. This works even if your Digimon was blocked, as long as it still survives. Piercing does not count for battles against security Digimon. Piercing occurs after any other effects, such as on deletion or when this Digimon deletes another Digimon in battle resolve. Subsequently, any effects that involve deleting another Digimon by battle do not apply to security Digimon, since they aren't considered Digimon on the field. Draw X amount of cards is exactly how it sounds. You draw the specified number of cards. There's no hand size limit, so don't worry. If you don't have enough cards in deck, don't worry, you won't lose the game due to a draw effect. Just draw however many that you can, as long as there is at least one card that you can draw. If there are no cards in your deck when a draw effect activates, then it does not work since you cannot draw any cards. Jamming prevents the Digimon from being deleted in battle against a security Digimon. Since they are not deleted by the battle, if they also have additional security attack modifiers, they perform the rest of those checks as normal since they are still on the field. Digimon with jamming can still be deleted in battle by Digimon on the field. They don't prevent security effects from activating, and they can still be deleted by normal and/or security effects on options and/or tamers. Digisorption allows a player to reduce the Digivolution cost by the specified amount by suspending one of the player's Digimon in the battle area. Suspend the Digimon after declaring you are performing a Digivolution, but before paying the cost. Digisorption does not work on Digimon in the breeding area, either by digivolving onto them or suspending them. You can use Digisorption to suspend the Digimon you are digivolving on top of, however, that Digimon will remain suspended. If an effect would prevent players from reducing Digivolution costs, you can still use Digisorption to suspend a Digimon, you just can't reduce the cost while that effect is active. Reboot allows a Digimon to unsuspend during the opponent's unsuspend phase. Not really much else to it. De-Digivolving trashes the top X cards from a targeted Digimon, where X is the number specified on the card. Once it has no Digivolution cards or becomes a level 3 Digimon, stop. De-Digivolving does not delete or remove a Digimon from play. If, for example, a Digimon is level 4 and has a level 2 Digivolution card, but not a level 3, De-Digivolving would stop when only the level 2 Digimon is left, and by game rules, that level 2 Digimon would be sent to the trash. If a tamer is in the Digivolution cards, proceed as normally, even if that means trashing the tamer. If the tamer is left on top, then it is just a tamer card, although it will keep any Digivolution cards underneath it, although it will not keep any of their inherited effects. If a tamer is the bottom card, then the tamer remains. If you de-Digivolve a Digimon with an effect on it, such as one that specifies until the end of the turn, then that effect remains since it's a lingering effect. Effects that are always active, such as ones that say opponent's turn or your turn as a keyword, will end immediately. De-Digivolving a Digimon does not count as playing whatever Digimon is left on top, so any on-play effects will not trigger after a de-Digivolution. Digimon with Retaliation will delete the Digimon that defeated them in battle, regardless of DP. If a Digimon has an effect that states, if this Digimon defeats another Digimon by battle and survives, then that effect activates before Retaliation. Digimon that have effects that prevent them from being deleted can be used to save them from Retaliation effects. Digi-Burst allows you to trash a specified number of Digivolution cards from underneath the Digimon to activate an effect. Declare that you are activating Digi-Burst, trash the appropriate number of cards from underneath it, and then activate the Digi-Burst effect. You cannot activate Digi-Burst if you have less Digivolution cards than the number specified. Some Digimon have effects that activate specifically if they were trashed by the effect of Digi-Burst. Those effects will activate after the Digi-Burst effect resolves. Rush allows a Digimon to attack the same turn it comes into play. Rush only affects the Digimon that has the keyword, so playing a Digimon with Rush and then digivolving into a Digimon without Rush won't allow that Digimon to attack that turn. The opposite works though. Playing a Digimon without Rush and then digivolving into a Digimon with Rush will allow that Digimon to attack. If you play a Digimon with Rush but memory shifts over to your opponent, you don't get to attack since Rush is not an activated effect. When digivolving into a Digimon with Blitz, you are able to attack with it even if paying the Digivolution cost gives the opponent memory. A Blitz attack counts as that Digimon's attack for turn, so if you still have memory when that Digimon is played, Blitz does not activate when you make a different action that would give the opponent memory. Blitz does not allow a suspended Digimon to attack, and it does not unsuspend a Digimon by itself. If a Digimon has Blitz but is affected by an effect that prevents it from attacking, it still can't attack. Blitz has to occur specifically when digivolving into the Blitz Digimon would give your opponent memory. After the Blitz attack and any subsequent effect activations resolve, your turn ends. If you would gain memory as the result of a Blitz attack and the memory gauge would move to 0 or in your favor, then your turn does not end. Gaining memory as the result of a when digivolving effect and thus having 0 or more memory will not trigger a Blitz attack. An option card with the delay effect stays in the battle area after its main effect resolves. The delay effect can be used on any of your following turns, and then the card is sent to the trash. If an option card with the delay effect activates its security effect to be placed in your battle area, its main effect does not activate. An option card in your battle area does not fulfill the color requirements needed to play other option cards. A Digimon with Decoy can be used to prevent the deletion of one of your Digimon that meets the requirement from being deleted via card effect. If multiple deletion effects activate simultaneously, Decoy can only save one Digimon from one of them. If a card effect would delete 2 or more Digimon, one Decoy Digimon can only save one of them. Decoy does not save a Digimon from being deleted due to dropping to 0 DP, but it can be used to save a Digimon from being deleted via Retaliation. Decoy cannot save a Digimon from being deleted from the player's own card effects. It has to be from the opponent. If a Digimon with Armor Purge would be deleted, you can trash the top card of that Digimon instead to prevent that deletion. Not the top Digivolution card, but the top card, which is usually going to be the Digimon with the Armor Purge effect. If after Armor Purge activates, you are left with a level 2 Digimon, that Digimon is sent to the trash. If after Armor Purge activates, you are left with a Tamer, then that card is a Tamer. Armor Purge can be used to prevent a Digimon from being deleted by its DP reducing to 0. However, after the top card is sent to the trash, the DP reduction effects will apply to the Digimon that is left. If a Digimon with Armor Purge has no Digivolution cards, then it cannot activate Armor Purge. If a Digimon with Armor Purge is attacked by a Digimon with Piercing, and then activates Armor Purge to prevent being deleted by that battle, then Piercing will not activate, since that Digimon was not deleted by battle. If an effect requires you to delete a Digimon and you choose a Digimon with Armor Purge, and then use Armor Purge to prevent from being deleted, the effects of the first card do not activate since no Digimon was deleted. If a Digimon has the Save effect, if it would be deleted, you may place that card under one of your Tamers instead. When Save occurs, any Digivolution cards underneath the card with Save are sent to the trash. A Tamer that has cards underneath it as a result does not have any of their inherited effects. If a Tamer with cards underneath it would be removed from the field, its Digivolution cards are sent to the trash. When using Save, if a Tamer already has cards underneath it, the newest addition is sent to the bottom. If a Digimon with Save also has another on-deletion effect, if Save is used first, the other on-deletion effect will not activate. Cards placed under a Tamer are not treated as Digivolution cards as long as a Tamer is the topmost card. Material Save works in a very similar manner, only instead of placing the card with Material Save underneath a Tamer, you'll use cards from its Digivolution cards that are listed on its DigiXros requirements. If a Digimon has Material Save 2, but only has one card that meets the conditions, you can still place that one card under a Tamer. If you have 2 cards that meet the condition, you must place both of them, as the effect does not state up to the amount. If there are more cards that meet the condition, you would still only choose 2 of them. Evade allows a Digimon to prevent itself from being deleted by suspending itself. If a Digimon is already suspended, it cannot activate Evade. If a Digimon were to suspend itself with Evade and unsuspend in the same turn, it could then activate Evade again if possible. When a Digimon with Raid declares an attack, it may use Raid to switch the target to the opponent's unsuspended Digimon with the highest DP, and the player can choose which of those Digimon to attack in the event of a tie. If an opponent's Digimon has the effect cannot be selected as an attack target, you can still use Raid to target that Digimon, since it is being affected by the effect of Raid and not by an attack declaration. Blocker can be used to switch the target of Raid since blocker timing activates after Raid would already have activated. If an opponent's Digimon has the effect cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects, it can still be selected with Raid since Raid does not directly target it, and Raid forcefully directs the attack to the opposing Digimon with the highest DP. A Digimon with Alliance can use Alliance when attacking to suspend another of the player's Digimon to add the suspended Digimon's DP to the attacking Digimon, as well as give it Security Attack +1 until the end of the attack. Alliance will use whatever the suspended Digimon's current DP is, so any effects that change that Digimon's DP are applied. Both the DP gain and the Security Attack +1 stay on that Digimon until the attack ends. If a Digimon with Barrier would be deleted by battle, you can trash the top card of your security to prevent that deletion. Barrier does not work against being deleted by an effect, like Retaliation, but does work if you would be deleted in battle against a security Digimon. Barrier cannot be activated if you have no cards in your security stack. A Digimon with the Blast Digivolve effect can Digivolve from your hand during your opponent's turn for the cost listed, which is usually 0. Blast Digivolve is the unique feature of Ace Digimon, allowing them to be Digivolved for free during counter timing. As stated earlier in the video, Counter timing occurs after an attack has been declared and all when attacking effects have finished resolving, but before blocker timing. Since I haven't mentioned it yet, Ace Digimon also have the ability Overflow, which has the player lose memory when the Ace Digimon leaves the field for any reason, even as a Digivolution card. Ace Digimon are cheap to play and can be quite powerful, but detrimental to lose. A counter effect can only be used once per attack, so you can't play multiple Ace Digimon off of one attack. There's a few more effects I haven't covered, such as Mind Link, Fortitude, or Partition, but these effects are all very new and we don't have many, if any, rulings on them. But from my own personal experience, they seem to be pretty straightforward, and understanding rulings for any of the previously listed effects should serve you very well in understanding these ones. I hope this video was able to clear up any confusion you may have had, and if there's anything I missed, let me know in the comments and I'll get back to you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and again, please leave a like if at any point you found the video helpful or enjoyable, and maybe consider subscribing to both stay notified of future uploads and support the channel. That's all I have for now, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.